Federal employees have quite an offer on the table right now for a delayed resignation. So as most of you know, this delayed resignation would go into effect September 30th, and the requirement to reply is due on February 6th. So just a couple of days from now, we want to make sure that we're getting the best information in the hands of federal employees to be able to make those decisions. But one special group of people that I want to talk about in today's episode are those who are already fully eligible to retire. A very important category of people and one who wields a lot of control in this process. So my name is Kowalik. I am the founder of ProFeds, and welcome to the Fed Impact Podcast, where we offer candid insights on your federal retirement. If you're new to the show, welcome. So in today's episode, again, we're going to focus on those who are fully eligible to retire, but remember that this is part of a series. So pop around into the series to see if there's some other topics that might be of interest to you as well. All right, so let's talk about full eligibility. The rules to be fully eligible to retire for a regular employee is that you need to meet age and service year requirements. So there's 3 different sets. You only have to meet one of those sets, okay? So you'd need to be at least age 62 with at least 5 years of service, at least age 60 with at least 20 years of service, or have met your minimum retirement age, which is somewhere between the age of 55 and 57, depending on the year that you were born. And with that MRA, you need at least 30 years of service. So by meeting those rules, you are making yourself the recipient of an immediate pension, meaning it's going to start right away after you retire. Now, I can't promise the government's going to pay it right away. They'll eventually get around to paying it and all the back pay, but it's due to you right away. Having said that, there are no penalties associated with immediate pensions. And so this is a really great way. This is how it's supposed to be when you leave government service and you're retiring, that you ride off into the sunset and your pension begins immediately. But there are a couple of other benefits that I want to talk about today, aside from the pension, that I think are important, worth noting in our discussion in today's episode. So the first is your FEHB and your FEGLI. So this is your health insurance and your life insurance through the federal government. In order to be able to keep these benefits into retirement, you need to have been enrolled in them on the day you retire and 5 years prior. Okay, on the day you retire and 5 years prior. This prevents someone from hopping into one of these programs right before they retire and then being, kind of expecting to be able to keep it forever. Okay, so they're looking for more of a long-term commitment while you're still employed in these programs. The next is the special retirement supplement. So for those who retire prior to the age of 62, as long as you are fully eligible to retire at that time, you are eligible for a program called the supplement. The supplement essentially looks an awful lot like the Social Security benefit that you're going to receive. It's lower than that, and it's paid prior to the age of 62. I won't go into super great detail on that program, but I do want you to know, as long as you retire prior to age 62, this benefit will be payable if you are fully eligible to retire. The next is the thrift savings plan. So with respect to the TSP, I explained this a couple of different times on different videos. So if you've watched a number of them, forgive me for explaining this again, but we want to make sure this gets to everybody. So with the thrift savings plan, there are some special rules associated with plans like this. So the IRS has determined that at 59 and a half, that is the age that they want you to get to before you begin taking money out of these types of accounts. But there's a special rule with respect to the thrift savings plan and other accounts like it, like other 401ks, that allow you to take money out of these accounts as long as you retire or separate in the year in which you turn 55. Okay, we're talking about the calendar year in which you turn 55. And just by virtue of the age and service year requirements that I mentioned before, it just so happens that as long as you are fully eligible to retire, if you're a regular employee, you are automatically going to qualify to be able to take money from the thrift savings plan without any penalty. Okay, and so I felt compelled to at least walk through that process. Now, there are some times where we find other scenarios where TSP penalties are going to apply, but it doesn't apply here in this scenario. So let's talk about those employees who have already submitted retirement paperwork. Maybe you were planning to retire in March or April, and now this offer came out and you're not exactly sure what to do with it. So if you have already submitted your paperwork, no problem. You are able to take back your retirement paperwork just like you would be able to do at any other moment in time if you wanted to retract your retirement papers. And you would be able to accept the resignation through September 30th. You would resubmit your retirement paperwork with a retirement date of September 30th. And that way the resignation goes into effect between now and September 30th. And at that moment, September 30th and on, you are officially retired. Okay, so you want to check with your agency. This is something that I put in one of the earlier videos of the top 10 things to ask your HR department. You want to ask them, hey, listen, I've already submitted my retirement paperwork. Do you actually need me to pull it back and resubmit it? Or is there something else that can be done to streamline this? We would love to maybe not give someone extra work that they didn't have to do before. I think everybody's pretty overwhelmed in this process. So anything we can do to streamline this, the better. Okay, so definitely just because you have already submitted your retirement paperwork does not mean that you can't take advantage of this. It is being made very clear that federal agencies are putting the terms of these conditions in writing to federal employees. This was part of the new updated FAQ that came out on Sunday. So it is important to quell the fears of federal employees who are worried that this is not a legitimate offer and aren't even considering taking it. This at least gives them some confidence that, in fact, this is legitimate, and moving forward gives them that confidence that things are going to go as they've been laid out. Okay, so our hope for all federal employees is that you know your numbers. And that's really regardless of whether there's an offer on the table like the one we're experiencing right now, or future opportunities for offers from the government, or if we're in just a normal environment where we're thinking about retiring. Knowing your numbers puts you in the driver's seat to be able to make really great decisions. So if you don't feel confident in the retirement numbers that you have, and you are already eligible or perhaps have even submitted your retirement paperwork, I encourage you to get to one of our retirement workshops. We do these all over the country. We've even got some overseas locations where we provide this training. It is a full day session. Amazing presenters that keep the audience nice and engaged all day and give them a wealth of knowledge of the things that they need to be thinking about as they prepare to retire. And so you can find all of the locations and the dates of our available workshops by going to fedimpact.com/attend. So you'll be able to find hopefully a workshop near you. We can't be in every city, but we're in a whole lot of them. And so we're delighted to be able to invite you as our guest to be able to attend that session. Even better, you're able to attend on the clock by submitting an SF-182, the training authorization form. Okay. And remember, this session today is part of a series. So pop around into that series and see if there are other videos that you believe will be helpful to you as you're making this huge decision. Okay. Now, if you want to have more of a direct communication with us where you're receiving more of the benefits updates, whether it's on future offers or just the way the benefits are changing, you can do so by pulling out your phone and texting the word podcast to the number 224-444-6144, and we will get connected with you and be able to get you that information lickety split. All right. So again, hope you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. But my real hope is that today's episode and all the others in the series are helpful to you as you make this really big decision. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.